Hello and welcome back to New Harris. It's been a little while and I've kind of forgotten exactly what I was doing last time. I've a vague notion I was trying to expand the economy a bit, diversify a bit by having some more kind of hotels and touristy buildings, but it's not really... I mean, it's going to take a while to get that up to a stage where it's truly profitable. Although my tourism rating is on the rise. Depending on your tourism rating, depending on the facilities you have available, you can get more lucrative tourists that have more cash to flash around arriving. So we'll keep that on the back burner, but that's a thing I want to do gradually, is to get a bit more tourism going, because that's a nice sustainable industry, as it were, as opposed to, mining, for example, which can cause pollution. And farming, well, farming is probably about the among the most sustainable things you can do as well in terms of industry, but it's not a hugely, like, just growing raw food crops and cash crops is not the most profitable way to do things. So I believe I've had a quick check of the timeline, and I believe one of the things I now have available is a solar power plant, and I might be able to get away with now, is there any... does it say... I don't know if there's any elevation bonus or anything like that, as there is with the turbines, but I might just be able to straight up get rid of those turbines and just use the solar power plant, which would reduce the operating costs. So it kind of depends how much power it's producing versus what the actual running costs are. So we'll do that. We'll build a solar power plant there, which is not going to be too much. And let's have a little look how we're doing for... happiness is okay. Religion, I have a vague feeling I noted that last time. The factions are all largely happy. Where do I see... I've forgotten. It's been long enough. I've forgotten how you see how many people have homes or not. Ah, here we go. Some we don't. I think this is more a problem with where the housing is located rather than whether I have enough housing or not, because people do tend to want to live nearer to their jobs. So I might, because everything's been kind of concentrated in this one area so far, so we might need to build out a little bit. But of course, it's a little bit like SimCity. As you build out, then you also need to provide services for the area you've built out to. So we could say, I mean, this isn't particularly valuable land up here, so we could start building some stuff up here maybe. I don't know, some tenements? I wonder if tenements ever get replaced by anything. We've got plenty of housing tenement spaces there. I think we even have some spaces. Yeah, we do. Well, one of these is not fully upgraded yet. So we can improve the dormant kiosk. Building does not produce crime. That's actually incredibly useful. I possibly had noted that previously. I wonder if we could build another ranch somewhere as well. I think food-wise we're doing okay, actually. We should be able to see that in trade. A little bit of corn, so we could maybe have another corn farm? I'm not entirely sure. Now we've got these big bio farms that I replaced all my traditional farms with. Maybe we should... yeah, maybe we should have another corn farm then. People do need the basics. I did think of building a borehole mine, and that's something we might do just to see what it looks like. But as I said, mining is not really... like, if I build a mine, it'll probably be because I want whatever raw materials it produces in order to, build further factories or whatever. If I remember correctly, that's producing a bunch of pollution, right? Yeah, as is the oil refinery. But we kind of care more about this if we're going to build some houses. So we'll actually maybe also build... where are we? Water treatment plant. Right there. And then we'll build some houses up in kind of this area here. That's coming along nicely. Let's actually speed things up a little bit. And also... salt mine. We need to build the... I keep thinking I have to build the salt mine. What kind of game is this going to be if I don't build a salt mine? But I keep forgetting to do it. So maybe I'll do that in this episode as well. Alright, let's just build 2 tenements there for the time being. I mean, it's next to the army base. It's not the most desirable piece of land. But we'll build some nicer housing over there at some point. I think we can't build markets anymore. No, it's supermarkets, isn't it? Which... do they take... I didn't even realise this had options. You can have healthy food, but people's the quality is reduced.
The Senate is not happy with you and expects urgent measures.
Alright, they want cigars, but they'll give me cigar factory blueprints. I think we'll actually take that one. That's a free blueprint for a factory. Do we have... do we have tobacco? Are we growing food crops, cash crops? I think we must be producing some tobacco because it's just... yeah, that's 2... that's a couple of cash crop farms, so we could, I think, hypothetically... but the main thing is, are we going to have the workforce necessary? Right, let's just squeeze that in there. Right, so that's producing... I could just add more solar panels. I mean, they're not terrifically expensive, the wind turbines. But I suspect this is going to be way more cost efficient. So I might actually... I mean, you know, real life you need both and other sources, but this is a game, so you can get away with having none at all. Yeah, we're producing well above what we need, so we'll just demolish all of those and actually purchase one of the upgrades for that. So that's all good. So, salt mine. I think that's just unskilled. Yeah, that's fine. I can also do the housing quality improvement for that. I'll have to remember to do that one as well when it's finished building. We want the resource overlay, and there's salt there. I don't know why I'm looking around there, actually. I can just use the little mini-map. What's less awkward, a road all the way over there or a road all the way around there? You know what? People don't really care about how far they have to go, so let's just build our way kind of like around here, and then potentially, you know, you could build some touristy stuff along here because it's otherwise a fairly uninhabited stretch. So here we go. It's the Jingles Co. salt mine. Obviously it would be, you know, he's got the exclusive franchise for this island. Or the exclusive rights to all salt deposits. I think we won't need a garage. It's got a road connection, so it's got its own built-in garage, as it were. Oh. Okay, we're getting a few extra criminals just arriving as immigrants each year, and we have the business centre available. Now that's going to be Economy, perhaps? Is that replacing something? Right, that I think we might build just because I'm a little bit curious about what it will entail. But where are we going to build it? I guess over at this end. Why not? Towering over the school. Oh, no. That's not the button I wanted. It was economy, wasn't it? Well, next to the... oh God, what's that building there? I can't even remember. Is that university? The theatre. Of course, it's next to the theatre. Where else would you put a business centre? We'll make that one lower priority, though. The salt mine will actually stick up to higher priority. That should be being built. Scar factory has been built. We've got the money to throw around, so that's fine. Also, we'll say allow imports for that building just in case we're not producing enough tobacco. No, we want the better quality cigars there, and 15% job quality, which actually should attract some people. Talking of schools, we should check how we're doing. Let's open up those final 2 slots because it looks like we have enough people that are wanting to go to schools. We might also want to build another grade school. I think that would be a useful thing. Well, that's filled up. People like to live close to their jobs if they can. Okay, that army base is doing fine. And how's our tourism? Tourism rating is actually climbing up to pretty decent levels. So we might well want some kind of... Did we build a souvenir shop somewhere? I have a feeling we might have. No, it's the tour office. Oh, there's the souvenir shop. Okay, making a bit of money. And the tour office is a little bit as well.
Presidente, do you know that people call me names?
Increase the liberty happiness to 80. No. No. We don't do liberty here. We do iron-fisted yet friendly dictatorship. Right, that's filled up because it's got the extra job quality. It's probably pulled a few workers from elsewhere. My gosh, we are doing rather well economically. There's that farm being built. Ah, and there's the salt mine finished. Now, I think the salt you produce there, it can either just get sold or it can also be used in a cannery. But I might be making that up about the cannery. So yeah, let's have a look at souvenir shop. I mean, most of the actual we can do this as a kind of low rent area, as it were. Maybe even move some of the thingy houses there. Although most of those aren't even occupied at the moment, so that's fine. We could actually clear some of those out for a bit of space. Structure. Let's demolish that one there. And what am I looking for? Attractions? Luxury attractions. I don't think we have the actual entertainment. I think that's what my brain is vainly grasping for. We built the theatre. Let's build the Shippo Rant. I remember being vaguely amused by that the first time I saw it. Do it so the actual thing is facing the road. That's a fairly simple one. That usually pays back more than it gives, more than it costs. should have a check on how my garages are doing it. Although I think it generally does tell you if you're desperately needing to build new ones anyway. Right, there's the business centre built, which actually takes uneducated. That's super useful, in fact. Takes uneducated workers. So we can be a mortgage company, we can be a life insurance company, or an advertisement company. Generates money based on newspapers, radio and TV stations in the area. Okay, I've actually placed that really badly then in terms of what it could be, what could be available. We turn it into a cubicle farm. Water coolers. Those are some expensive water coolers. Okay, we'll increase the job quality. I'm not going to be cruel enough to make it a cubicle farm though. I think crime. We're going to need another police station up there at some point, and also possibly a fire station. Yeah, I think we probably will need a fire station. Well, there's the Shippo Rant being built, which can actually have quite a few tourists. How's production of the salt mine going? It's not really producing anything at the moment, but you know, it's a bit of lead in, I guess. How are we overall for unemployment? So the number of homeless has come down. Free job positions 16, unemployed 1. So we have. It's a good market to be looking for a job at the moment. We have plenty of spaces available for people to come and yeah. Let's build a church up here. Actually, we're making this a kind of little inhabited area, and maybe I could build a conventillo just for the sake of variety. I don't really need to, but I don't think we've built one down here. Just to show you, you know, this is a conventillo, this is how this works. Which possibly I have done previously, or at least mentioned it. No, I don't have one, so yeah. And also we were building the souvenir shop here, opposite the school, as one does. Oh no, I'd already built a souvenir shop. Well, I could always build another souvenir shop. One set to t-shirts. I can actually set it to. Yeah, okay. We could have a different souvenir shop with a different setting, so it's attracting a higher quality of clientele, maybe, kinda, sorta. I did build the thing there, didn't I? Yes. Right. I don't know what next now. I've built a bunch of stuff. We don't have any great need for lots and lots of job spaces. Steady stream of immigrants. Everyone's reasonably healthy and happy. Got plenty of exports. I think we're doing okay overall. Maybe build something nice like a little park down here. I'm sure there's some parks in this lot. It's tempting to build some like extra watchtowers or whatever, but it's a bit unfriendly. Can we squeeze any in there? I don't think we can actually. Let's just plonk that in there beside the church. Why not? We might be able to sneak in some. I can't remember where the various different options are now. The planters. Oh, there we go. Yes. Few extra little trees behind that apartment block just to make it look a little nicer. We might need a couple of extra houses as well, actually, even if it's just another tenement. lurking there. Right, healthcare. Do we need better healthcare? There's the hospital. What does the actual overview say for healthcare? %66%, not bad. What we could maybe do then is build something like a newspaper maybe. We were talking about a grade school, so we'll build one of those, and then perhaps a newspaper. If we build a newspaper, we could actually set that to... Could make this a kind of little media company area. Okay, we'll do that. We'll set that to advertisement company, and it will in fact increase the liberty. So you know that's helpful, I suppose. Let's have it be a newspaper that makes the militarist faction feel warm and fuzzy about themselves. They're an important one to keep on side, especially if you're trying to run a cozy little dictatorship, as I am. I could probably stick an actual, like, proper house in there, but I don't want to be too mean and just randomly boot people out of their homes. Although that's not really what a true dictator would say, is it? I'm kind of pondering having this down somewhere over here, but we'll build up the neighbourhood a bit first. It's quite a big thing, so I'm going to need to like properly leave space for it. If I put in a road kind of like along there, perhaps. Can in fact there we go. So we've got that church going, we've got that tenement building. Possibly we could do with something like another Teamster's office. How are we doing? There should be a nice stack of things sat there for export. We are currently importing, so that's probably the tobacco. Yeah, so we should be producing tobacco. Possibly we need to... We might just not have any cash crop farms in areas where tobacco actually grows well. Yeah, so that doesn't particularly... yeah, none of these really do. We don't have any particularly good tobacco growing areas on this island. Sunny areas with low humidity. So yeah, we've got a couple of bits on a slope. There's a whole bunch of rocks. Another few areas on a slope. So it's... yeah, that's awkward. Just not producing our own tobacco much. Will it let me? Because sometimes it'll let you knock down things, but you know, terrain features, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. I think we're going to be a bit stuck for tobacco. Best we can really manage is yellow areas. We've already got film. I keep saying film instead of farm, brain. Come on, brain. They're not that similar words, brain. Right, there's the conventillo, and basically you can... yeah, you can pay every so often to kind of refresh the building quality. Right, that isn't making a profit yet, but hopefully it will soon. That's probably because we're having to import, yeah, import tobacco. Right, the garage is overloaded, so yeah, I thought that one might get a bit. Let's build another one. I was going to squeeze one in there. Why not? Can have some nice park benches or something in that little gap. Right. I could also link those sections of road together. I think that's the neatest I'm going to get. It's a slightly awkward looking. Yeah, but that'll have to do it.
The U.S. Senate is not happy with you and expects urgent
I
measures.
think we are exporting oil, aren't we? I think. New building unlocked. National Bank. Now what does that do? We'll build one of those because it's not too expensive, and also it does in fact oh, we're not even that close. I was thinking, oh, it's yellow, we've used up that much already, but no, we've still got a good 60 megawatts, 56 megawatts, like in numbers. So yeah, let's build a national bank, and this seems to be kind of the, I don't know. I'm not particularly trying to go like, oh, this is the business district and this is the, you know, well, let's just plonk down the National Bank behind El Presidente's palace. Maybe start building some nicer housing up here. How are we doing for housing overall? Loads of, okay, I probably don't need to, although it's, I mean, some of these it's counting as obviously free housing, but we have loads of nicer free housing as well. Right, so we would need more buildings around there in order to start making that more profitable. I mean, we could build like a TV station or another newspaper. Let's build a radio station. Liberty, revenue. Oh, we could bump the Liberty up a bit, I suppose. Sure. Although it's not going to have that big an effect. I don't know how big the radius of this this building is going to be exactly. I should bump up the income from that. That might even just tip it over into being a profitable building. That's full up, not surprised. Don't know why I'm looking at the church again. Reasons. We could build a clinic. Let's build a clinic. Not quite a full-on hospital, but this is not a particularly populated area just yet. Right, so the economy is still very, very healthy. Let's build one there and see how quick it fills up. Right, National Bank. What can you do, National Bank? We probably don't need that many bankers. I think it's the normal bank options, but decreases the construction cost of all buildings by up to 28%. Let's just go with that. Generating a bit of cash, and it will also generate a bit of profit from tourists, because tourists will come and use the banks as well. So that's slightly obnoxiously overshadowing El Presidente's palace, but it's fine. This is slightly blotting out the sun. Maybe El Presidente didn't like the sun very much. Let's build those there, and canned coffee.
The U.S. Senate is not happy with you and expects urgent measures.
We are, in fact... I think we did the cigars thing already, didn't we? Yeah, that's in profit now. So, yeah. Coffee we are definitely growing some of. We have better crop conditions for coffee, so that's not a problem. I might have... wait, do we already have a cannery? Or am I making that up? No, it's a rum distillery we have. Right, so, yes, cannery we can build. And we'll actually set it to easy does it, so we can attract maybe a few more workers. Talking of workers, let's have a look at wages. What would I be looking for? There we go, let's bump everybody's wages a little bit. Right, that's filled up, no surprise. That should free up some of the housing here, maybe. Eventually we'll have another hospital, not hospital, fire station and police station here. Maybe a hospital, actually. I don't know. We'll see. Let's have a check in on our tourism. Well, having said tourism, apparently one of the next things we're going to get is a hotel, which might be quite nice. Overview. We could build a nicer hotel. I think these hotels are both... yeah, they're generating a steady income. Okay, let's build the luxury hotel. Then, build it behind the Shippo-Rant, even though it's right next to the water treatment centre. Apparently it's still quite a desirable area. Can kind of offset that by building a little park. Or two. Right, there we go, the 7-star hotel. Is that just a big swanky hotel? Yeah, it doesn't actually replace anything. It's... oh, that's huge. Good lord. Okay. Good grief. Right, I don't think we'll build one of those just yet, but you know, we know it's there. We also know quite how big it is now. So yeah, everything's ticking over quite nicely at the moment. I mean, unless you do something really silly, it's one of those games where like you just expand a bit and expand a bit and it's fine. I don't think the disasters are particularly disastrous in this game. I have been playing another game actually that involves building things. One of the games that was announced at PDXCon, which is Paradox's annual Expo Con, whatever you want to call it. Well, it is literally PDXCon. But yeah, they made a bunch of DLC announcements and also, surprise, unveiled another game in the Surviving series. Because we had Surviving Mars and now they've decided they're going to make a franchise out of it and have it be an actual series. So we have Surviving the Aftermath, where if you have, you know, the money, You can actually go and buy the beta version, as it were, on Epic, but once it comes out as the full version next year, it'll be on Steam as well. But yeah, I've been playing that a bit. It's not Haemimont that makes it. It's not the same studio as this or Surviving Mars. And I initially thought it really didn't feel like a surviving game at all. It didn't really feel like Surviving Mars or like this. And then it turned out it's a Finnish studio that's making it, that was already making it when they pitched it to Paradox at the point where Paradox was developing Surviving Mars. And it's not a game like any of the other games that this particular Finnish studio has made before, so that kind of explained it a bit. It was something a bit like arguably one of the more complex games they've tried to make, so that might shape up to be something interesting. But I've held off doing any videos on that until some of the problems are worked out, because at the moment it's only really half a game, unfortunately. It's a bit like this. You just kind of expand a little bit and expand a little bit more, and it is possible for things to spiral downwards, but it's not nearly as harsh as, say, Banished. But it has the real problem of once you get to a certain point, well, you just kind of run out of resources, and then you just, kind of spiral down and everyone dies. So it's completely unfinished at the moment. I didn't really want to look at it when it is in such a blatantly unfinished state. Anyway, we are sitting on so much cash right now. I mean, we could... did we build a university already?
Sir,
Issue martial law. Nah, we don't need to do that. My people love me too much. We don't need to do that. Not too much. Enough. They love me enough. More than enough. Or not enough. I don't know. They should love me more, I suppose. Anyway, right. That's full up, the labour camp. We could build another labour camp, or even just a prison. I don't know. But let's build I'll tell you what we will build. Let's build the city park, in fact. Which doesn't quite fit on that side, but it will fit on this side, fortunately. That's fine. Anyway, that's rather nice. That'll have a quite a big beautifying effect on that area, which is fine. That's what we want. Build another apartment block here on this side, and why don't we start to think about building some... well, we could maybe clear out some of these. Having said, I don't want to be...
President, the U.S. Senate is not happy with you and expects
freeze-dried
urgent
coffee.
measures.
I think we'll have to wait. Yeah, there's a thing that lets you... Yeah, so we'll have to wait till we finish that one before we start producing the freeze-dried coffee, but we can certainly get that upgrade on the go once we have... Having said, I wanted to be nice, just not randomly knock down houses. I'm going to randomly knock down some houses. Right, there we go. Finished auto-saving. Electronics factory. No imports from the USSR. Okay. My plan, by the way, we're up to 1980, and I might actually wrap this video up very soon. We're up to about 40 minutes. Yeah, my plan for this series, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, I might have, but basically is to take it up to the current year, so it will probably be 2020 with the finishing date for this. Which will be, it's been about, what, 5 years per episode? So we'll probably... I can numbers. I can't numbers. How many is that? How many is 40? What's 40 divided by 5, you guys? It's so hard. Oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway, you can all facepalm about that in the comments. I can't think and talk at the same time. I can very rarely do, even just one thing at a time, let alone two. The salt mine, by the way, the salt mine's doing well. I always wish I could rename it or stick down a map label or something so it actually says Jingles Co. Salt Mine. But yeah, it really, you know, you couldn't actually mistake this for an actual Jingles Salt Mine because these people are paid a wage. They're not slave workers. So yeah, there's obviously a bit of a difference there. Let's build some entertainment kind of thing up here. Maybe a pub. That's nice and simple. Squeeze that one in there, and we haven't built a movie theatre yet, have we? Or have we? Oh yes, no we have. Don't know if there's that much we haven't built of the entertainment things. Casino, gourmet restaurant, sports complex is pretty huge, but that actually might be quite a good one to have, just because it also brings in tourists. We do have this big gap here. Yeah, we could build some more housing around it. Alright, let's go nuts and build a sports complex where they'll go and play Sportsball. And let's plonk down the extra cash to increase the capacity of the solar plant. I think we're a bit early, to be honest, for having, like, when was it we got this? 1975, for having like practical solar farms of that kind of scale. Like, when did they start to be seriously built? Like, the efficiency of solar panels in the mid-70s can't have been good. Can't have been good at all. I don't know enough about the history of solar power to say for sure, but it does feel a little bit early. Right, let's have a quick glance over. Yeah, income's well up. Corn we're actually importing again, so we could do it. Maybe we should just build another labour camp, because we have all kinds of criminals strolling around the place. It is in food and resources, right? Yes. As a bonus, we can actually have it be here next to the other one, because that's a nice fertile area for corn. And then we can start arresting more people. Oh, we could have it be coffee, actually. Pineapple? Well, corn's what we actually need. We'll put this on a higher priority, and then we'll wrap up this video, I think, once these things are finished constructing. So we're starting to get some more high-rise buildings looming over the sunny shores of New Harris. Yeah, we're getting some decent cash from some of these tourist ventures. Enjoy your meal while authentic real-life pirates imported from Somalia rob you of all your valuables. So the service quality is improved for each fisherman's wharf or fish farm in the area. That's just the default one. That actually might increase the... because we do have some fish farms nearby. That's worth doing. And that's now making a bit of cash. That should be... that's a thing, actually. Let's check where we are with people's liberty desire. Gosh, one radio station, that's bumped it up to, what was it, 18%? Now 52%. So people are overall a lot happier than they were. And pollution-wise, we're doing okay as well. Yeah, we're just, I don't know, we seem to be in pretty good shape overall. I've not tried to massively rush my way
our
through things.
Has caused a diplomatic incident by using a fork during
okay, apparently our minister of our foreign minister managed to stab a bunch of people with his fork while he was trying to eat sushi. Yeah, I think we could fire him. Could have someone who's good enough not to just randomly stab people while they're trying to eat food. let's go for her. Why not? Raimundo Zapata is now our Foreign Affairs Minister. That's being built. That's being built. That's fine. Religious Tropicans will never visit the building. I'm all right with that. Let's have an American-style arena where everyone just has liquor. Because how else are you going to stand to sit there for hours and watch Sportsball? Yeah, that's totally going to be the title of this episode now. It's just Sportsball! Exclamation mark. Which will totally make sense to everybody. Right, so also I've realised that's fulfilled, so we can actually now switch over to freeze-dried coffee. And let's quickly build another infrastructure. Teamster's office. Sure. It's probably about time. I'm just noticing this huge stack of goods here. It's probably about time that we had a few more Teamsters. Yeah, they've got some stuff there. Yeah, we need more Teamsters. At this rate, we're going to be able to build like nuclear bunkers and nuclear power plants, and not that we'd really need a nuclear power plant. A solar power plant appears to be more than good enough. Right, there we go. So that's our stadium just about finished, and we can also now throw a bunch of people in the clink. It'd be nice if there was a slightly easier way to do this, but let's see if I can remember what button. Assassinate! Yeah, no, that's not the thing.
¿Qué necesitas?
See?
Arrest all of the people, but you know, people that have actually committed crimes, not just people who I feel like putting in prison, which is totally a thing you can also do. But criminals, they all look alike. Which, wow, so racist. But you know what I mean. You know, the icons for the like we've covered this previously. The jobs just look they just look the same. 16 job slots, is that right? That looks right. Yeah, 2 times 8. Almanac. Job, there we go. I don't know how many people we just marked for. Let's do a couple more.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. ¿Qué necesitas? Buenos días.
Can't click the right button there because I'm special. Output storage, production input storage. Why is it saying it's not produced anything? I'm slightly confused by that. Mission. Spot 1,000 electronics. Oh, do we want to?
Urgent measures.
You know what? We've got money dribbling out of our ears, which totally makes sense. So yeah, sure. Let's get the. I'm gonna get the police station put down, and then yeah, let's wrap up the video. We'll select where we want to get it built. So yeah, where are we? November of 1980. We've covered about 5 years. Economy's grown nicely. We're building a bunch more stuff up here. We're starting to get a lot more cash to play with. So who knows? The next episode we might even build the big stupid looking hotel. And start to go a bit more all in on tourists. So that's it for this episode of Tropico. Hopefully you have enjoyed it, and if you have, you can do all the usual things down underneath the video. And of course, as always, stay tuned for more.